Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for the little late start in. Of course, when usually that happens, it's because of other people and places and things. Nonetheless, we're here. We're going to go for a few little minutes today, getting into this crazy week that's a holiday week for, you know, kids and family, people coming out of town, you're trying to schedule things. Um, hmm. Anywho, yeah, yeah, just a busy sort of day. This morning started out with getting the kids situated, parent teacher conferences, everyone else is working, appointments for cousins this afternoon in like an hour, much less than an hour. I gotta leave. Um, I guess what I'm like getting to, and you can see the frazzledness or you know, whatever it is. That's why it's so late today. You you begin to find rhythm, like in your life. You find a niche. You got things going, things are moving. And of course, there's always things that come up, right? There's always things that interject themselves in your day to day. And you try to be good to yourself, good to other people, most available, et cetera. But there's a fine line between doing things for yourself, which you need to do to sustain things, doing things for other people, which you again need to do in order to sustain mental clarity, relationships, blah 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 blah. And the catch and what I ran into partly today is when you're so accommodating to individuals or so accommodating to everyone else around you and you're able to balance all these things, the minute unfortunately that you need to put your foot down and reassert yourself or reestablish yourself and sort of vocally recommit to everyone else like, hey, I'm here, I'm available, I want to help, I'm the person that shows up. However, I've got this to do and take care of in my world as well. So as much as I'm balancing all these other things and I appreciate everybody being there, I do have my own priorities that unless I'm putting them first, unless I'm giving them the attention that they need to be given, I'm going to be grumpy and I'm going to be bad because I'm going to feel like it's becoming not like you're being used, but that you're so well at maintaining this dance, this orchestra, this concert, that the minute that the conductor needs to pause, everyone looks at you like, "What the hell's going on? Are you all right? What's happening? How come you're not doing this? How come you're not doing that?" And you kind of get that weird vibe of like, "Yo, it's like the Einstein theory, right? It's like 99.99 effing percent of the time, reliable, on time, drop everything at a hat moment's notice." But if this is the assumption that's getting built and the expectation that's getting built by everyone else around you, then it's just human nature. We just fall into these things where, oh, well, that person will be there. Oh, well, they'll take care of it. Oh, well, that's all right. Well, yes, but that individual needs their own moment to do what they're doing. Like, as long as if they're not sustaining themselves, then they can be the greatest thing in the world. It really doesn't matter. And you need to politely, at times, reaffirm this with those around you. Yeah, you get the weird looks. Yeah, you get the, oh, you know, what's going on? And you're like, no, it's not a weird look. It's not anything that's bad. It's me saying to you politely, hey, I'm still here. I'm still this person that you're counting on, just like everybody else has got these friends in the friends group, everybody's got these in their work groups. But you got to give that person in the construct of all of this that's going on the opportunity to follow through with their own plans and their own agenda and the things that push them to be a better, more well-rounded, more in touch person. If not, then there's this assumption. That assumption breeds content. The content gets there. Then you start getting snippy. Then relationships start going off the rails. Then jobs start getting micromanaged. It's all the TPS reports. All how many bosses you got, um, and you're just looked at like a commodity. And we as humans, we deal in that world of where we network with individuals. We assign value. We assign worth. We assign risk. When that begins to get off kilter, you have two options. You either confront it and you address the elephant, the proverbial elephant in the room, or you wash your hands and walk away. There's some things you can't walk away from, right? There's some things that are just inherent responsibilities that you're tasked with from the go. Might have a home, might have kids, might have bills, might have sick relatives. You may be sick yourself. Jobs contingent upon XYZ effort, regardless, to meet the bottom line. Some of these things are not within our control, like how we react to them. That's what's in our control. But a lot of times, the response of how we react to these, it's not that we're coming at it in an unpositive manner or in a manner that is not like cohesive to everybody and everything that's going on. It's just that we do need, in some of these instances, to remind ourselves, hey, what you have going on is important, and it's just as important as being available to everyone and anyone else. The reason why it's important, the reason why it needs to be to the forefront is because if you're doing something constructive, if you're doing something worthwhile, if you're doing something that has value, odds are that you've put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of work to get there. Right? You've done all the soul searching, you've done all the research, you've done all the education, you've completed the life skills component, right? You've invested your time in the labors. You're up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You're up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You're not just sitting around aimlessly going about your day. Um, I was told the other day, I'm use myself as an example, but you see individuals sometimes that they're so busy with things that the moment they actually get an opportunity to sit down, their whole body, their whole demeanor, everything just instantly decompresses. And they go into just like really like a standby mode on a computer, like a rest mode, like almost, okay, I'm done. Like I've met all these tasks, I've done everything I want to do. But it's very hard for individuals who are in the service of others, whether it be professionally, emotionally, intimately, to turn things off because they're so driven by wanting to provide for others, wanting to take care of others. We all have friends like this in our groups. We all have relationships. There's usually one person who's like the caregiver, the other one, But the catch is not to become complacent with yourself and not to become complacent with the people around you, that you overlook what each of these individual components, parties, people, places, things need in order to sustain. And there's that balance, right? There's that delicate balance. Everything in life is all about this balance. You can go big, go hard, go all the time. You know, maybe take a day of rest. Maybe shut it down a little bit. Maybe refresh yourself. Maybe give detox, whatever you got to do. But just a word of prevention. Right now, it's a prevention, pound of cure as we go into these holiday weeks, where we will want to try to do everything, 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 everything that we can, whether it be socially, with our family, with our friends, with our likes, with our interest. You have got to meter yourself a little bit. The hardest thing is what to tell someone no, where you don't want to be there, you can't be available. You wake up and your calendar's already has its day-to-day tasks on it, and then boom, You've got holiday party, old friends are getting together, people are in town, then you're having dinner. But all this is going on, and you still have these daily things that are happening. And what we do as people is like we wanna be there for everybody. We want everybody to come to us. We want to take advantage of it all the time. Um, it's okay to go in slow. It's okay to go in nice and easy. Chill with it. Don't spread yourself too thin. And the caveat with it is that when you're the individual, or you know the individual in the group, and they're always running, they're always going, they're always people have this, whether it's right or wrong, they have this assumption that those people don't get tired. They they don't get frustrated. They don't get worn down. They don't get stressed. And they do. They do. Everyone does. Everything compounds at some point. Everything comes to a head at some point. And just that when you recenter yourself and when you have to make that vocalized statement, or you have to hit the do not disturb button on your phone, or the mute button on your messenger or your Twitter or your Insta, whatever it is, and you shouldn't have to say it because you hope that people would be self-aware enough to their own, but it's almost like you need to announce, like, I need to recharge a minute. I need to focus on some of my things just a little bit more. I'm not cutting anybody off, not screwing anybody over, but hey, I worked my way, you worked your way, she worked their way, company worked their way to this point, and yes, all the greatest intentions. However, we got to meet our bottom line. And your bottom line for an individual is your own self sufficiency, your mental clarity, your emotional clarity, your physical health, your spiritual well being, in whatever way you want to practice that. And people sometimes get so fixated in the cycle that instead of then appreciating all of these opportunities that come around, especially during the holiday season, they become like, what did Vince Vaughn say, about dating and wedding crashers? A forced, awkward, intimate relationship, a forced, awkward, intimate setting. And it is like that. It's like, okay, we got to show up here. Oh, we got to go there. Oh, so and so's going to do. Oh, we're going to go visit. And it's not that you don't want to do these things. You do. But you want to go into it under the premise that it sounds so cheapish, sell outish. New word, Duncan. But like, you really want to go in with very little, like, specifically tailored expectation to you, right? Like, everybody growing up got these friends you get together, like, oh, they're the funny one. Oh, he's the funny guy. Oh, he's the serious one. Oh, that one's got all the money. And like, whether you want to admit it or not, as we talked about earlier, like, we type people, we do risk, we do management, we do assessment, and it's like, oh yeah, like, you know what? Go in here, fun guy's got to come, fun chick's got to come. Can't wait to see her get white girl wasted. Can't wait to see her dancing and popping and locking on and twerking all over the dance floor. Oh, we're going definitely need serious guy for this. And a lot of times when you have these day to day functions and you get typecast into these personalities, places, and things, it begins to be your public persona and identity, whether or not you like it or not. And when you step outside of that character, when you aren't when you aren't delivering the way that people expect you to deliver or expect you to behave, it throws people for a loop. And when we throw people for loops, it's usually met with a little bit of, what's wrong with you? Like, what crawled up your ass? Are you okay? What's bothering you? What's happening? And you have to, be secure enough in yourself and express the frustrations, express the stress, express the anxiety, to be able to sit there and say, yo, dude, like, I need like 10. Because odds are people who are like that, people who are geared like this, that are always available, that are always hustling, that are always accommodating, blah, 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 blah. They feed off of those things. They feed off of those relationships. It gives them energy. But then like when they're tapped out, their turnaround time is so much quicker because that's the sort of interaction that they need. But you've got to give them that recovery time. So like when you call your friends and you're like, oh no, man, I'd love to jump on. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to go out tonight. I'd love to, meet up. But you know what? I'm just gonna sit here and I don't give a shit. Fucking play Sudoku, play Tetris, go watch like some Golden Girl reruns or something like that. If that's what recharges you, odds are 24-hour turnaround. That person's good now for the next 6 months. But there's always those instances where you catch one of those people where they're getting to that apex, they're getting to that point, and it's like, what the okay, asshole. What's he doing today? What's she doing today? Being a real bitch, blah blah blah. And it's like, no, maybe they're at their point. And it's specifically, like I said again, let's wrap it up. You know, as we're pushing through and towards the holidays, be mindful of how much you are asking from other people, and asking from other people in the sense that your your expectation, right? Your metaphysical expectation of an individual and how they are going to act or present themselves in XYZ situation when you're surrounded by them may not always be met. And I might want the funny guy. Funny guy's taking the night off, but I want to hang out with you. Serena, cool, but not going to be there. And like be okay with that because odds are right around the corner something is going to present itself and it's going to be hysterical, crazy, awesome, amazing. But it takes maturity on our part, it takes maturity on their part, it takes growth across the board, knowing what we need, knowing what we don't need, knowing what they need, what they don't need, and being okay with it. There's a lot. There's a lot that happens. People, specifically holidays, they get busy. Things get squeezed in. People burn the candle at both ends. Um, it's the busiest season of the year for a reason, and it's not just busy activity wise. It's busy top to bottom, mind, body, and soul. And everyone's interpretation, everyone's relationship with the holidays, completely different. There's a lot of touchstones. There's a lot of things we can draw parallels with people. There's a lot of things that make you feel all warm and fuzzy and good. And then there's also the things that happen through our lives that really impress upon these deep inner core memories, feelings. You know, you never know what someone's going through. Be present for them. Let them be present for you. Try to meter, your expectations. And if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you feel like you got a stacked calendar, which a lot of us do, and then don't be afraid. Find that time and be like, you know what? I really don't want to, but I think I'm going to take a nap. I really don't want to, but I think I'm going to take a jog. I really don't want to, but you know what? I'm going to pass on the Tuesday night happy hours with the people from, the marketing B team on second shift. But you feel compelled to be there because you're that person. Well, guess what? Relax. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys Wednesday. Going to be a little bit later on Wednesday. I got a half day pickup with the kids, so I think I have a schedule for 12:15. I'm gonna bump it out, I think, to 1:15. So look for that change in the show card. Point perspective. Okay, Dad. Quick, easy espresso shot today. Back to the grind. I'll see you guys later tonight, Monday. Retro ads, Stephen Luker, play action reel. Be sure to check it out. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, AJ, for jumping on. Quick hitters, but still, we got to get in there. We got to talk. Got to hash it out. And AJ was doing legs today, so hopefully he's got the Asper going. His quads and hammies, doing his little calf raises and stuff like that. Good on you, AJ. All right, guys, have a good one. See you in a bit.